Hey everybody, hang on, I'm getting messages. I'm getting orders after order after order coming in, and I was totally not expecting that, and I'm so blessed that people want to order my food, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm not very well put together. Hang on, I'm getting all kinds of messages, so I may have to do that a few times. Anyhow, what I'm doing now is I am about to show you how I make my sweet potato casserole. And what I have done is I have cut up, I cut up and boiled about five sweet potatoes. You don't have to boil them if you don't want to cut them up and cut the peel off. You can bake them and then scoop out the insides, but it's a little faster for me to do it this way instead of waiting and waiting and waiting for them to bake. But if you have time and you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do that. Just bake them for about an hour, about 350, between 350 and 400, depending on your oven. So that's how you do that. And what you're looking for is 3 cups of cubed or mashed up sweet potatoes. So I have that right here. And I've got actually more than 3 cups, but I'm going to stand up so that I can show you guys how to do this. I'm going to mash them up. I've got just a potato masher, and y'all, I'm needing some new utensils. I broke mine, but I just use it this way, and it actually works really well that way. Maybe I don't need another one. So this is still warm. It's not totally cooled yet, and it doesn't matter. It's easier to mash them up whenever you can use a hand mixer too if you want to. You don't have to use this. I don't have an operating hand mixer right now. Mine is broken, and so I'm just using this. I could put it in my stand-up mixer, but it's loud whenever I'm doing this, so I'm just going to mash it up. This is what I did last time anyways. If you want it more whipped, I would put it in I would do it that way, but I don't personally, it doesn't matter to me if it's lumpy or whatever. But the masher can get it pretty good. Okay, so I've mashed that up. I'm out of paper towels. We're running out of everything. So I am just going to give this a quick little stir. Make sure that I've got my sides scraped down. And I just want to kind of pat it down to see how much I have. This is right at mashed down real good. It's probably 4 cups. But, you know, if I have a little more, it's not a big deal. The recipe calls for 3 cups. We're at 4 cups. So 5 potatoes makes 4 or 5, regular sized potatoes. Boiled and cut up makes, peeled, boiled, and cut up makes about 4 cups. Okay? So now I'm going to start adding my ingredients, okay, to this. I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar, just regular white granulated sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla, I love that smell, and 2 beaten eggs. And I have not beaten my eggs yet, but I'm going to do it right now. So I'll just put it in a little something and beat it like that. I've got a better idea. Put it in this and just beat my eggs. Beat them real good. These are just large eggs. Some people put 3 eggs. I only put 2. You don't really need 3 for this little bit. Alright. And I am going to also need a stick of butter melted. So I am going to melt this stick of butter real fast. I'm going to put this in the microwave. I'm just going to nuke it, okay? Just bear with me. We'll let that do its thing while I stir this up. I'm just using a fork because a fork would probably beat up any kind of lumps that I may have. And once I get my butter, I'm going to put it in here and stir it up again. And it's got about 30 seconds. Let me throw this away. Ah, it's stuck to my hand. Okay. Let's give it some butter. Looks good and melty. Look at that. It's got just a little bit needs to melt on down, but it's not a big deal. I'm just going to pour it right in there. Who knows that butter makes everything better. Okay. Except for my waistline, don't make, and my heart. Of course, I do try not to eat too much of it. I love butter. I love the flavor of it, but I only try to allow myself to eat like this maybe on holidays. Now, my grandmother, I just want to tell you this is her recipe. She has at times added raisins to this. She's added coconut to this. She's added both to this. So you can do it however you want to. You can put nuts in it. You can put coconut in it. Raisins, you know, something, whatever, you know, that would bake really well, you can put in there. I don't like it that way. I like it the traditional way. And so now I've got it all mixed up. Now I'm using this pan because somebody is buying this from me. And I'm just spraying it down real good. I could butter it, but the spray will keep it from sticking real good. And there's already enough butter in this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this mixture right into my pan. I love these bowls right here, these mixing bowls that are measuring bowls, and they're great. They're Tupperware. Again, I love Tupperware. This was the first thing I bought before I started selling Tupperware. I'm not too much into it anymore, selling it, but I can get stuff. But I'm just going to smooth that down right into my pan. This is a 9 by 13 baking dish, or baking pan rather. And that is 4 cups. Now the recipe calls for 3. I think it does better with 4 because it fills up the pan and it's not thin. I like a thicker one. So we're going to set this to the side and we're going to make our topping. Okay? So I'm just going to, I'll use this pan right here. I'm going to take a cup of loosely packed brown sugar. and put it in there. I said loosely packed it. Did that. Okay. A cup of chopped pecans. 1/3 of a cup of flour. You can use whatever kind of flour you want. And I'm going to melt 1/3 of a cup. Now, if you look on this right here, it'll show you exactly where to cut it for 1/3 of a cup. If you didn't know that, I didn't know that for a long time, but that just makes it easy, so I'm just going to cut it right there. Right here. I'm going to put that up. Yeah, I could actually use that to butter my pan if I wanted to, but I've already done what I've done. But that way you use 1 stick of butter, or 2 sticks of butter in your recipe. But I'm just using a 1/3 of a cup and a stick, okay? I'm going to nuke it. You don't have to nuke it. If you don't like a microwave, that's fine. I'm just nuking butter, so you can melt it on the stove top. That's not a problem either. While that's working, I'm going to stir this up with a fork so I can break it up real good. And then once my butter gets done, I'm going to pour it right in there and stir it up really good. I have made the mistake before of putting too much butter in the topping. Too much butter in the topping makes it greasy, and I don't like to do that. You just want to get it wet. You don't want it overly greasy. Okay. Just do another 30 seconds on that. Now, while that's doing that, while we're waiting on it, I'm going to tell you another thing you can do. There's a couple of different ways you can do this, okay? Once I get done putting the crumble together, I can put that on top of my casserole and just bake it just like that. I could also add on top of my crumble, I can add some marshmallows, or I can mix some marshmallows in with it and then put it on there. Or I could just strictly do marshmallows. That would really make this more of a souffle than it would be a casserole. Another thing you can do is add a little coconut to the topping. You can add some raisins, like I was saying. You can put it in there or you can put it in the topping. But I personally like it just like this. Now, when I had my restaurant, for the short time that I had it, this was one of my side dishes that I always had. And it was very, very popular. And I miss it. And one of the young ladies that worked with me, she was one of my servers, it always talks about this. She wants this particular thing. She loves this recipe. So that's going right into my bowl. By the way, I have my oven set for 375. So probably take about 45 minutes. And you just want to stick it in the oven. You don't want to cover it. You just want to stick it in the oven. Oh, I love Thanksgiving. Me and Daniel have been learning in his homeschool about the Pilgrims and some of the things that, they went through and what have you. And one of the things they talked about was a dish that the Indians made, and it was succotash. And I'm like, maybe he and I should do succotash. It gives a recipe for it in the book. And I thought maybe we'll do a succotash recipe, and we'll come on here and do it together, and that'll be one of his little classes that we do, a little home ec class. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I want you to see this. It's wet, but it is not super wet, so it's just enough to crumble. Now I could take this and crumble it with my hands, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of take my fork and spread it around on there. And this will pretty much cover the whole thing. You can always make more if you want more. But this is what the recipe calls for. Last time I did 5 cups of the potatoes instead of 3, and this time I'm doing 4. But I'll probably do 4. It's a good amount, and it's not going to take forever to cook. I guess if I did an 8 by 8 dish, I would do 3 cups instead of 4 cups. But the recipe, everything stays the same. Now, if you did 5 cups of potatoes, you could do 3 eggs. At that point, I could see doing 3 eggs instead of just the 2. And I did last time because I had 5 cups. And it was great. It was excellent. But I made the mistake of putting too much butter in my topping. And that wasn't good. But this is amazing. And my grandma gave me this recipe when I started my restaurant. Man, I'll tell you, I miss that so bad. One day I'd love to have another restaurant. And Lord willing, I will. And in my hometown. And then maybe I'll start, more branch out. This is plenty of topping. I'm just hitting the places that look bare. And once this is done, I'm going to show it to you. I'll have to come back on my Facebook page and on my Facebook page, and I will show you the results. And by far, this is my most popular dish. Most requested. I don't know, it may be banana pudding now because I did my banana pudding and I have so many orders for it. So look how beautiful that is. Perfect for Thanksgiving, anytime, really. I mean, if you want to do something like for a Sunday dinner or you're having company over, this is great. Now make sure they don't have any nut allergies. You can always do the marshmallows and it's just as good. Okay, well, it's not just as good, but it is good, and a lot of people don't like nuts. So anyhow, I'm going to stick this in the oven and I'll be back here in about an hour. Love you guys. Bye.